war machine! I am a war machine!
Alright, first video in the new crib. How to make a photo light box. This is kind of a follow-up video to a girl painting's video about hers. Of course I'm going to chop it up because I don't feel like making a 15-minute video about how to make this, although it will take about 15 minutes to do. So, without further ado, start out with Reynolds freezer paper. Again, backwards. Webcam, what can I say? Anyway, or you can use wax paper. It's a cooking product. It's semi-transparent. See, it lets light in. That's the important part. Put that over there. A box. You will need a box. Any size will do, preferably something, I would say about 12 by 12. Maybe a little bit bigger than that, 14 inch. Just on all sides. Cannot be a rectangle, or at least should not be a rectangle. There are plenty of square cardboard boxes in the world. This is one of them. I got this from my job. It's a carry strap box. It's what I use to strap big bundles of lumber together while I'm at work. There's that. Masking tape. You can use this kind or you can use the blue kind. The blue kind is called painter's tape. It doesn't, it's not annoying when you have to like unstick it or anything like that. This is a fairly old roll. You can possibly see some discoloration here. So I'm going to have a hell of a time putting this on the box. But overall, it's fairly simple. And handy dandy hobby knife. As you all know, this is a hobby knife. I'm not going to be using this actually because I have something a little bit easier, but because 95% of you should have one of these, or really all of you should have one of these. 95% of you already do have a version of this. I'm just showing it for display's sake. The thing I'm actually going to use is sorry for the delay. This right here. I bought it from the Home Depot a couple of years ago. It's designed for opening presents. It's a pair of scissors. It's got an X-Acto knife on it. It's pretty neat. Screwdriver. Both bits. But the only thing I need it for right now is the scissors. So, I'm going to go ahead and do the first part of this, but I'll explain what that is. Every box comes with flaps. Cut these off. This little flap here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. Cut it off. I'll be back as soon as I do that. There you go. It is a completely flapless box. You can see in the box is empty. And now if I shake it around a little bit, pull nothing in the box. Alright. By the way, I discovered it was easier to use the hobby knife. So, screw the scissors, use the hobby knife. The second part of this is to make a laceration, so to speak. It doesn't have to be perfectly measured. You're only going to need to do this on 3 sides of the box. 3 full sides of the box. You don't need to do it on the bottom, obviously, or the back, or the... Yeah, and there's the 6th side is already open. What you're going to want to do is come in about 1 to 2 inches and cut, kind of a square about 2 inches out of the box. Again, I'm going to do this and we'll come back and show you what it is. Actually, I'll do the first panel for you guys, and then after that I'll do the other 2. That way you see exactly what it's doing. I shouldn't have to show you how to cut flaps off of a box though. So, come in, this is about 1 to 2 inches. I'll just use this carry strap line as a guide. Just lock my knife in place. I would usually use a heavier duty knife than this, but this will have to do. Alright. Since I have convenient little guidelines, I started at the C here and stopped before the P began here, so that's kind of my guideline. Just rudimentary space between the fingers. And I'll just kind of make a mark over here for a future reference. So now I have to cut from these lines down to the other side. Now these lines don't have to be perfectly straight. These are designed specifically to hold tape. These outer flaps things. The rim, so to speak. It's designed specifically to hold tape and to hold paper. This thing will come off. Don't do much yet. There we go. Alright, there's one. There's two. You see it opens a little bit. And I'll cut across to where the mark that I made was. It's a little bit off, but oh well. And these don't have to match up exactly, like I said. These sides here, here, they're just for holding tape. There's a box. So I'm going to do the other two of these, and I'll be back as soon as I finish that. There you go. 1, 2, 3. It's not an exact science as long as you have a good lip on 3 sides of it. And then you have your bottom, top, 2 sides, and your back. Your back will usually be this. In fact, the other side with the flaps, don't cut anything out of that, because it'll just be difficult and it's really not necessary. You're cutting the flaps off the front. There's your open side. That's the side you'll be taking the photos from. The second part is freezer paper. Roll a little bit of it. In fact, this stuff is quite huge. Wow, this is big. So I'm going to have to waste a little bit of this, unfortunately. But just kind of measure it out to where your thingamajig is, to where your hole is. And cut out from there. I guess because these have little convenient tearaway things. I'll just tear it away. Remember, no part of this is an exact science. So, obviously, it's too big. So, where the scissors will come in handy, as they weren't handy in cutting the flap on the box off, is cutting this down to size. Now, it comes in a roll, so it's going to roll up on you a little bit, but don't worry about it. Just cut through, figure out where your box is. Keep it roughly square. Yep, see, we still have a box on the sides of the lip, still a little bit underneath of it for stability. Let's see, there it is. Cover it up a little bit. Same thing on the other side. Don't have the same thing on this side, so I have to cut out a little bit of that. So, figure out where to cut it. Cut that. There you go. See, not perfect at all, but once you tape it down, it really makes no difference. So I'm going to do the other two panels, and I will come back and I'll show you how to tape them down.